Hi, and welcome to another On the Couch Reviews, where today we're going to be reviewing Valerian.
Luc Besson's latest forte. This is the same guy who gave us The Professional. He gave us La Femme Nikita, and he also gave us The Fifth Element. This is basically the story. This is based on a comic book from France that heavily influenced George Lucas in the Star Wars movies, and you can kind of see when you watch this movie all the movies that it did influence. This is about our main character, Valerian, and what's the girl's name?
Lara or whatever, I don't know. I forgot already.
Lurline.
Laureline, really?
Yeah.
Coraline anymore?
No, Lurline.
When I want to watch Coraline.
And this movie is basically about eventually in the future we come about how we figure out we want to have everyone together, so we make the space station where you see all these different cultures from all these different worlds and all these different type of people commingle. Eventually they get so big that they have to be moved away from Earth. And what's happening is we're along for the ride for the two main characters who are hunters, right?
Yeah.
They're hunters, and they're going about, just doing their job, and in the middle of it they find a conspiracy. And then the movie goes on from there. This movie is visually stunning. The CGI in it is absolutely wonderful. At the same time, that's kind of all this movie really has. It's the look of it. We saw this in
4D.
we saw it in 3D. We saw it in 3D, and
this is a movie that should have been watching 4DX though.
Yeah, this should have taken the place of how we saw Atomic Blonde.
Or reversed.
That's what I just said.
That's not what you said.
Yeah, it is.
Whatever.
The opening scene is with, I think it's a David Bowie song, is absolutely beautiful. The way they introduce how all the new aliens come in, and how all the Earthlings and all the different captains throughout the world
started from 2020 and go all the way to 2051, and then another 400 years later.
Yeah.
Jesus, I lost count at that one.
But it was still a visual treat to see all the different aliens go in there and meet.
It was probably like 3005 by that time.
Also, on top of that, there are some lovely action pieces. Like the whole scene where he was traveling through the different worlds while he was on the sand planet.
Oh yeah.
Was freaking breathtaking. This movie throws so much at you, but at the same time we won't go into the bad yet. There are a lot of good scenes, I'm not quite sure why the scene with Rihanna is in it, but it was actually a pretty impressive scene, and she actually kind of played a very good character. I wish her character arc would have been more than the way it ended. That way, or if she would have been in it more, because then
she died.
Spoiler, anyone? Yeah, it would have meant more when she died, but it was kind of sad. It just wasn't earned. Then there was I really like there's a bunch of set pieces that are beautiful, but alright, here's where we're gonna go into the bad. I completely forgot what the main story was by the end of it.
Too many subplots. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here, and there's one all the way up there.
Yeah, it's a series of things of where Valerian gets captured.
And then
The girl, Lorelai
captured.
saves him. Then she gets captured. He has to save her. And then
the commander was captured. And it all goes down back to a simple animal. Which I forgot the name of.
Yeah, so did I. But, the movie also has the problem where you said it to me when we were watching the movie. After they got over the first couple of minutes where they introduced the space station and how it works, there's this long scene. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautifully done scene, and it's CGI at its best. But you just looked at me and you said, am I watching a video game?
Yeah. The CGI was terrible. I looked like I was...
I don't think it was terrible.
It wasn't too bad, but it was bad enough to look like I was playing a PS3 game.
Yeah, it's just because it was just CGI.
Not PS4, PS3.
I think it was because it was CGI and CGI. Because when our main characters had to interact with CGI, it didn't look bad.
It didn't look too bad, but when CGI and CGI mix, it doesn't look like a live action movie.
Yeah, it looked like a cutscene from a video game.
Exactly.
And
when do I actually get to play the game?
But it was impressive for the first couple minutes, and then afterwards it just got, they did the best. And actually that scene was actually kind of cool because there was no dialogue. There was just kind of sounds, and you had to figure out where everything was. And it's kind of nice in a sci-fi movie where you're not beaten over the head on what you're looking at. So I'll give it that. Another problem this movie had is the lead characters. You want to start, or you want me to go for it?
Nah, you go.
Oh my God, Dana Hunt should not have been in this movie.
He sounds a lot like Keanu Reeves.
He does.
I was like, wait, why does he sound so familiar? And then he pointed out that everybody said that he sounded like Keanu Reeves, and I realized, oh yeah, he does sound like Keanu Reeves.
I think one of the reviewers said he sounds like John Wick in Ted Long from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures Body. And it kind of does, but the problem is with Dahan, he doesn't have the swagger. He doesn't have the it factor that even a young Keanu Reeves could have pulled this off. Hell, I told you this when we were at the bus stop. You didn't even have to get young Keanu Reeves. Just get him to shave his face and he'd have been good.
Exactly.
I mean, Dana Han is not a bad actor. I liked him in Chronicles. A Cure for Wellness it just wasn't a good movie.
Some of the time he looked like he was hypnotized.
He tried to play it, but he just doesn't have that swagger, the it factor. Like, he kind of has the look. I didn't see Amazing Spider-Man 2. You saw it.
I saw it.
How was he in that movie?
He wasn't too bad. Yeah, but
it was a bad movie.
Exactly.
But I think he was wildly miscast. The girl, Carla, what the hell's her name?
Which one?
The girl, the main character.
Lorelai?
Yeah, Lorelai. Carla Davidovich.
Your phone is showing.
I know. I can edit it out. Carla Davidovich, she's actually not terrible in this movie. Not a huge fan of her. I didn't like Paper Town. They didn't give her much to do in Suicide Squad other than freaking wave her hands around. She wasn't terrible, but the two leads, they never had any type of chemistry. As a matter of fact, there was at one point I didn't understand why the hell they were in love. I was like, why the hell are you two people just bickering all the time? Just move on. She's not terrible, and I told you this once we got home. I was like, I would love to have seen Suki Waterhouse, the main character from The Bad Batch, in this movie. I think she would have did it really well, because she's you know, I think she's a better actor, even though she as well as a model. This movie also has, it kind of feels like a video game.
Yeah.
Cause
But in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way, because there are parts of it where you go submission, submission, submission. And like I said, when we got to the third act, it was just like, oh, I remember what the whole point of this movie was. But also I felt like the main ending was kind of odd, because it went into territories. It basically talked about forgiveness and
peace.
Yeah, but it also talked about, because the whole captain, you know, he didn't want to. It went into this whole thing about money for no reason, and then it was like, oh, we didn't want the Earth to go bankrupt, so we wiped out this. We tried to wipe out this whole civilization.
I messed that up pretty bad.
So it was kind of very weird, and it was like, where did this come from? This is something that would be in a different movie. All that aside, story problems, I kind of like this world. I like the setup. If you could have given me two leads who, one, had chemistry, and two, fit the role of the world's greatest hunters, this could have been a very good movie. This could have been an excellent movie. As it is, it's okay. I'm not mad I saw it.
Okay, anyway, what's your score?
6.5. You?
7.
Okay. So our...
That's what I said on Facebook.
Is it?
Yeah, I said 7.
Alright. So altogether that's 6.75. Right now it sits at 43% on Rotten Tomato. And it's not a bad movie. My suggestion, see it in 3D, see it in IMAX, the bigger the better.
I see it 4DX.
If it's still available, this is going to be a bomb. This movie cost $208 million. And that's just production. That's not marketing. Its first weekend it made less than 20 mil. This weekend is probably going to drop less than that. This movie is going to be a bomb, but I very much believe it's going to be like The Fifth Element, is that people are going to watch it once it comes in home release. But when you can, see it big. Go big. Any last words?
No.
You crack me up, little buddy.